When I first came in and, I got on the phone with Trevor about everything before I even joined, before everything else, when I was first just like inquiring about it, I just was like, man, I don't know. And I wish at that point I would have just said yes, because I would have gotten this quicker, honestly. Now I'm paying 50 cents a follower,
Mhm.
maybe even less, because every day for the past like 4 days I've gained 80 followers. So
Mhm.
this past week and a half I went from 1200 to almost, I think I'm about to hit 2000.
This online fitness coach is using a strategy so powerful for getting new coaching clients every single week, and he's done as much as $10,000 in just 5 days. And in today's video, I had the pleasure of interviewing him and uncovering the strategy that's allowed him to do this. Welcome to another interview here. Today with me is one of our star clients. I feel like I say that every time. Ethan, super excited to connect with you, man. We're gonna chat back for a little bit, sit down, relax, and just talk about business. Before we begin, though, Ethan, do you mind just introducing yourself so the people at home can and learn a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm an online fitness coach. I specialize in helping people lose weight or, build muscle based on their goal, but that's basically what I do. I help people do that through sustainable dieting, making sure people can eat foods that they enjoy. Just a little
Love it, man.
background.
Love it. You're in a pretty competitive niche.
Yeah.
We're gonna kind of unpack your journey over the last few weeks here. But before I get into that, what kind of got you into doing what you do now, man?
Yeah, so kind of my background is, I've been working out since I was 13. When I was, I'd say when I was 18, I started getting more into working out specifically. Used to play sports, do working out in there. But once I turned 18, I got into more competitive bodybuilding. I hired a coach myself for
Mhm.
fitness. So I've worked with a coach for the past 2 years. Going to compete in 2025. But yeah, that's kind of a little background.
Sweet, man. So, we could start diving a little bit into your business now. How long have you actually been coaching for?
So I've been coaching for 6 months now.
6
6
months.
months.
Okay, gotcha. Has it always been online? Did you start off in person first?
No, just online. So I did a couple people when I worked at a gym. I coached a couple friends, but that's really how I started.
Sweet. So, I mean, our relationship kind of stems back a little bit now. So, you know me from Instagram doing all the marketing that we do. And I remember when you first kind of came on my page and you were lurking and learning. And it was really interesting to connect with you and talk more about that. But can you share with me from your perspective, your kind of
Yeah.
first approach seeing and learning about what we do?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the real thing is so I had another mentor who I still work with now, but
Mhm.
his approach is really organic marketing. And a lot of the time it's hard to do organic when you're starting a small page.
Mhm.
When I first started, I probably had like 800 followers, all being friends and family from,
Mhm.
where I live. So seeing, ads all of a sudden and seeing, your ads consistently all the time, I was like, dude, there's got to be some way that I can, do something like this or, reach people like that. Was the
Absolutely.
main
Yeah,
thing I
man.
saw.
So, yeah, that's absolutely amazing. So, for people that are just watching for the first time or just getting a little bit more familiar with us, so one of the things that we focus on is helping online coaches launch paid ads, but build a brand through launching those paid ads. So, Ethan, I remember you like commenting on some of my ads, watching some of my videos, but you weren't 100% sold right away, right?
No.
So, can you share with me what was going through your mind when you kind of were making some decisions there?
Yeah, so I had, just invested in another mentor by the time I was seeing his ads. I was like, dude, I just can't, let me try this out for a little bit. So I tried, some organic stuff, and then I'm realizing like, dude, I'm having a message cold outreach like
Mhm.
50 people a day, and I'm getting zero responses because it's going to their inbox. They're not even seeing it. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm wasting my time. I'm not getting any sales. I'm not getting any closer. So like I felt very, very stuck at that point.
Right, right. And you eventually came back around. I remember like you were like, you know what, I want to hear more about what you guys have to do. And I was so excited, dude. I was telling Trevor this. I was so excited because I was like, this guy is gonna crush it.
Yeah.
You were doing okay in business already. Like for someone that
Yeah.
just started coaching 6 months ago, you're doing pretty okay, right?
Yeah, I've been doing okay. I mean, I'd gotten, little bit of money here and there, like 1,000, 2,000 when I first started out. Then I had like a good double close day, so I had like 4,000 in a day.
Mhm,
But other than that, I got that sale and then I didn't see like any sales after that. So I was like
mhm.
pretty stuck. Those were pretty close leads though, like
Right.
warm.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, man. So, let's kind of talk about when you first kind of enrolled in the program, man. There was a lot of ups and downs, which
Yeah.
happens in business. Can you kind of start sharing your journey when we started to launch those ads? Because to my understanding, you had tried to launch ads on your own prior, and then we kind of started to build out a strategy. Feel free to share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so when I first started running ads, I'd seen your ad, so I was like, let's try and do something similar. And I had no clue how to do it. And like you were generous enough to even tell me a little bit in the DMs like how to do stuff, and I was like, that was pretty helpful. So I was like, okay, let me try this out.
Mhm.
When I first started with ads, it was just not good. Like I didn't get anything out of it, I was just targeting the wrong people or I was in the wrong area. So when I joined, initially in the group, kind of watched through all the trainings, learned a lot about ads, and then kept asking you questions. The biggest thing was for me when I first started ads was, my account got restricted, which sucks. Got restricted, and then it got restricted to like $25 a day, and I couldn't basically run any ads.
Mhm.
I'm trying to run more and more ads, it wouldn't let me. Trying to contact support all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wasn't really able to run ads for a couple weeks at least.
Mhm.
Tr It's not fun.
Yeah, so, one of the things that we teach is like, let's get some ads up and running to build your following base, right? So when you enrolled with us, you had a little less than what, 1,200 followers or so, where you're around 1,200 or so?
I think I was around when I first joined, I was probably around like 11, 20, I'd say.
Mhm. Gotcha. So what Ethan's referring to is we wanted to script out and get launch some new ads that would get new followers and eyeballs to his page. The issue though is that messaging and what you say in your ads, especially in your niche, Ethan, of weight loss and
Yeah.
fitness, can be very restrictive. So Facebook isn't a big fan of before and after pictures. They aren't a big fan of lose this amount of weight in this given time period. So we were kind of navigating those potholes as we're starting to build that first few ads, and even then, we had launched some ads initially and they weren't performing as well, right? We
Yeah.
eventually made that shift that we're going to talk about in just a moment. But what was kind of going through your head? You just enrolled in our program and you're faced with, an issue. It felt like every turn. What was kind of going through your head at that time, man?
Yeah, so at that point, dude, I felt so stuck. I
Mhm.
remember constantly being like, "Yo, man, like, is there anything I can do?" And you're
Mhm.
like, "Just trust the process." Basically, I kept trying to, figure out, okay, let me try and contact support.
Mhm.
Then I had to make a new ad account, and then that one got restricted.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of back and forth trying to get it really running. But once we finally got it running, then it was, a big difference.
Absolutely. So we pivoted the messaging. First things first, we had to get him a new account. He was luckily had a family member that was able to, be able to launch those new ads. From there, what I was looking at your ads that were running before they got restricted, I was seeing the performance and I'm like, okay, these ads aren't the best right now as far as the messaging goes. So let's switch the messaging around. Let's kind of target a broader net with your ad, and from there on, dude, when you got that new account, you launch those new ads. You do a really
Yeah.
good job of filming ads, by the way. That's another thing. Um, it started like business completely opened up for you. So what was that like when you went from all those issues to now? Actually share with us now what kind of looks like for you with your ads.
Yeah, so honestly, I'll talk about kind of how my ads were running before. So, I was very niche down in my ads before. Did not have a quick like call to action. So the call to action was at the end of the ad. Many people were not going through it. I'd say at that time I was paying like $7 a follower.
Hmm.
And so that means I'm spending, $15 getting 2 followers a day.
Hmm.
2. And that means, I can send 2 messages in a minute and they
Uh-huh.
wouldn't even open them. And
Right.
so, once we got this new system rolling, quicker call to action, better video, better, message. I mean, now I'm paying 50 cents a follower,
Hmm.
maybe even less, because every day for the past like 4 days, I've gained 80 followers. So
Hmm.
this past week and a half, I went from, 1,200 to almost, I think I'm about to hit 2,000 pretty
Wow.
much.
Dude, so
Yeah.
you're crushing it now. You're getting tons of followers a day. Can we talk a little bit about your like 2-day stint? You just crushed it in like a matter of a few days. What kind of happened to your business when the followers started to grow and the leads started to come in?
Yeah, so I, was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting like every single day I was updating you basically like, hey, my ads are only 70 cents a follower. They're 60, they're 50." Like every
Mhm.
single day I got better and better. And the past 3 days have been crazy. I mean, I got on the phone with somebody, signed them up, 3,000. 2 days later, I sign up a past client for 4,200. And then that same day, I signed somebody up for 3,000 as well. So I closed 10,200 in 3 days.
Wow, dude. That's insane. The biggest reason for that too is just like you have great content on your page that's value driven. And the only thing that you're missing was just getting and funneling more eyeballs every day. So the
Yeah.
cool thing about your ads, you just mentioned to it, they're continuously optimizing. So they're just going to keep getting more and more people. It's exponential growth. And you're getting to the point now where you have tons of messages. You're looking to now outsource and delegate that to a team member to manage for you because now it's the opposite of what was happening at the start of the month or last month where you were just like, bro, I'm messaging all these people, no one's responding, and now you're crushing it. So this is exciting, right? You're going to be pacing
Yeah.
pretty close to 20, 30K months pretty soon here. What are some of the things on your list? Now, you obviously had a massive influx of cash. By the way, how much did you spend on ads to make that amount of cash?
I spent $290, I believe.
Wow. So massive return on investment. You're going to be projecting about $1,000 a month. So you're going to be
Yeah.
seeing upwards of a 10 to 20x return on investment every single month, pretty much. Because
Yeah.
now you have new leads coming through that you can upsell, like you mentioned that $4,200 client, and then you have new eyeballs coming through the door. So what we're working with Ethan now, we'll spread some time talking about this. We now need to restructure your offer because you can only
Yeah.
manage so many
I
clients, right?
know.
So kind of list out some of the things that's kind of going through your mind now as you're in this scaling phase.
Yeah, so definitely would be outsourcing the messaging. I mean, I'm sending, 20 messages every hour, probably 5 hours out of the day.
Mhm.
And I'm following up with everybody from the past couple days as well. So that's like a ton of time. So yeah, the switch was crazy from like, messaging everybody all the time to now, I have all these people to message that I didn't have before.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of next steps would be, just taking on more clients right now, just seeing how many I can handle, and then, maybe going into like a group coaching offer possibly in the
Yeah,
future.
dude. So now it's just about pivoting the offer. You have the most important part of scaling any business down, which is attention. And
Yeah.
the cool thing about it is like you don't have to rely so much on organic marketing, right? You don't have to do certain trends and hashtags to get new followers. You're getting targeted leads every single day by the dozens.
Yeah.
So now for you, you have flexibility, and this is one of the biggest things we aspire to help everyone be able to accomplish. Ethan can sit down and say, I have choices now." Right? I can do what I want. I can hold off on enrolling more people. I can enroll more people. I can charge more.
Yeah.
So with this now power in your hands, is obviously there comes a lot of decisions to be made. What does your end goal look like? What does your day to day look like as a business owner with this much power?
I would say my end goal would be in a system where, I only have to work, maybe a couple hours a week, do a couple group coaching calls, basically have everything delegated where,
Mhm.
there's other coaches working under me and I
Mhm.
just kind of sit back and do some easy work pretty
Yeah,
much.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love it, man. Yeah, and that's what we're pacing towards now. There's tons of fitness coaches out there and just business owners in general. What are some advice? I mean, you dropped a really nice voice note inside the community chat, but what are some advice that you could give people that are kind of going through their struggles now?
I would say the biggest thing is making sure you have a good offer.
Mhm.
So your offer has to be like out of the park. If it's something like every other person, especially in the fitness niche, like if you're like, I do custom nutrition, you have 24/7 accountability and custom workout plan. Everybody hears that. Nobody cares. You have to get emotion out of them. You have to understand their pain points. You have to understand how to actually help them and tell them how you're going to help them, not what you do, like
Mhm.
not all the gadgets that you have.
Right. Right. Yeah. Selling the transformation, right? And that's cool too, because I remember one of the things that I initially took note on your offer was that we're trying to figure out, are we helping busy professionals, just
Yeah.
anybody? And it really like obviously like dialing in your messaging is important. But at the end of the day, like a lot of people, I think you had mentioned this to me, like these people are so vulnerable. They fully understand that you can help them accomplish their goals. So they're just paying you in full. Like it's
Yeah.
no longer these payment plans split up. It's like, yo, here's my money, help me. And there's a connection there as well. So a big part of what we teach is the accelerator funnel. And we're teaching people take your brand and paid ads, fuse those together so you're not just getting new leads, but you're getting people bought into your messaging, your vision, your offer, whatever, your personal story. So that way people can come around and be sold and bought into you, right? So Same thing with you, right? You came in, you're already trying some of the strategies that we teach. You're
Yeah.
already sold on ads. You knew ads would be the strategy. It was just about getting the assistants to actually optimize that for your page. So, like, those are going to be your best clients every time, right? Like, you're a
Yeah.
pinpoint example of an amazing client because you're already bought into the strategies we teach. We're just here to help you optimize it, right?
Definitely.
So, a lot of online coaches out there that are struggling, they can't really get the right leads, or if they get people to pay them, they don't finish the programs. It's really because they were never really bought into you fully, and they're not the most motivated, or you just don't have a good enough offer as well. So I want to actually leave with some advice here, man. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be helping Ethan to start to flesh out now. One of the biggest things that we're slowly starting to incorporate is longer form content and assets, right? So I was going through your YouTube channel. You have a few videos up there now, and we're slowly going to start building out some more value. Can you speak to me, Ethan, about just the value? Because I know you watch my long form content as well.
Yeah.
Can you speak to me about the value of just having long form content?
I think long form content's a game changer, honestly. Especially like if you're talking about what you do, it's a game changer because somebody can watch exactly how you can specifically help them, and you can explain all the in-depth systems. Like if for training specifically, you can be like, this is the app that I use, this is how to use it, and when you actually get them on the call, they already know what you do. They
Mhm,
already know what's going to help them, and all you have to do is talk to them, understand their struggles, and basically just say, hey, do you think that's going to work for you, basically? And they're going to say
mhm,
yes every time. And so
mhm.
there's no question about it, basically.
Yeah, yeah, pulling back the curtain, the biggest reason why people don't move forward is the fear of the unknown, right? If they feel like this guy's charging me this price point for this offer, but I feel like there might be some things that I don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know, so people fear that. So with the content that we teach people to create, it's pulling back the curtains and basically laying everything out. Because at the end of the day, people pay for implementation. They don't just pay for knowledge. And knowledge is free everywhere, but
Yeah.
they will pay specific people top dollar to help them implement it if they feel like you can do that. So it's just awesome to see your evolution and growth over time, dude. We have tons of more opportunities and more achievements to break down, dude. You're one of the best clients in the community because not only are you doing great for yourself, but you're also helping and uplifting other clients. I've had multiple clients come to me and say, "Yo, this Ethan guy does he work with you?" They're
Yeah.
asking, like, "Is he on your payroll?" I'm like, "No, he's just an amazing guy because you always are providing feedback, uplifting the community." And I think it's so important to be amongst people that are also doing the same thing. So, Ethan, there's a couple questions I always like to ask people at the end of these
Yeah.
kind of interviews. What would you go back and tell yourself, maybe a couple weeks, couple months ago? What would you go back and tell yourself to kinda help you push through those ups and downs a little bit sooner?
I would say in the start, I guess, let me think. I would say the biggest thing is like don't focus on as much organic marketing. I
Mhm,
mean, I think ads are by far better. I think I tried to, I posted 2 reels a day for a while, and I'd get, some good views on it. You knew that, my content was doing well before. But it honestly didn't matter.
mhm.
Like I wasn't getting any people following me. I wasn't getting any new conversations with people. And I felt like that is basically just a waste of time, in my opinion, to really post all the time.
Mhm. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I agree 100%. I spent a year and a half focusing solely on organic marketing, and I wish I knew about paid ads and the power of it and how to do it the right way. Because 'cause I've tried VSL funnels and opt-in webinars and all that stuff, and, like, you're really leaving a lot of opportunities on the floor because just like with our relationship, you came and saw us, and you weren't 100% bought right away, and that's
Yeah.
fine, right? And over time through the value, through seeing me over and over again, you became a client. And that's what a lot of people drop the ball with. Most people in the fitness spaces that run ads, they're like, hey, let's launch a webinar funnel. Watch this
Yeah.
10-minute training, give me your name, email, phone number, and book a call. And then they're wondering why most of the audience doesn't convert, right? You're leaving 97% of the market on the table, right? Because you're only fighting for that 3%. So it was one of the biggest things we teach. One additional question for you as well. $290 in ad spend, and you've made a massive return. What's some advice you can give to people about ad spend? Because the big fear is spending money and not making that money, right? For some time,
Yeah.
I remember us chatting. You were like, yo, I'm spending this money. I'm not necessarily getting leads. I'm not seeing people respond back to me. What's going on? What kind of advice can you give to people that are just starting to get into paid ads?
I think the best advice is, and Alex Ramosi even says this too, is the first like $100 you spend on ads, just throw it away.
Hmm.
Literally just, just burn it, get in the game, spend money on ads. You're going to lose money at first, but you're going to find winners that actually make you money pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, well said, man. Simple and straight to the point. Like you have to be willing to take that risk because and it's not ultimately a risk if it's done properly because
Yeah.
ads are the most guaranteed proven way to get you clients. There's no better format or way. It's literally, hey, Instagram, hey, TikTok, hey, YouTube, this is who I want to attract. Go out there and go find them for me. It doesn't get any more direct than that. And I always recommend people like if you're starting with ads, start off with like a $300 to $500 budget per month, and you'll be surprised how you can re-flip that the profits from one closed deal, flip that and start to scale, scale, and scale, man. Awesome, man. I want everyone to go check out Ethan's Instagram here. He's doing amazing things. He has tons of great value as well. If you're a fitness coach and you're looking to see someone to kind of be inspired by, Ethan's the guy. Ethan, any last notes that you want to leave people with?
I would say honestly, when I first came in and I got on the phone with Trevor about everything before I even joined, before everything else, when I was first just like inquiring about it, I just was like, man, I don't know. And I wish at that point I would have just said yes. Because I would have gotten this quicker, honestly. Like at that point, I was just hesitant. I was like, man, I'd already spent money, what if it doesn't work, and I honestly don't know what would have happened if I did it earlier and like
Mhm.
where I'd be at now. So that's the best advice I can make. Like if you're thinking about joining, you know, tough it out, do it and you'll get the results basically. You just got to work for it.
Yeah, we always tell people like, I mean, every single client that's come through, follow to what we teach and implement it and stay consistent, they're gonna get results every time. Right. What we're
Yeah.
doing isn't necessarily rocket science. And the biggest thing about being successful in business is just the right mindset. So shout out to you, Ethan. We're gonna keep crushing it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. And if you want access to the same knowledge and training Ethan used to absolutely explode his business, I created a training called the Accelerator Thesis, breaking down the entire strategy. You can get access to the video right here. Click on it, go watch it, and learn how you can take your coaching business to the next level.